so simid tu sé recorder, so in screen share agus raimid réigegin head point yellow done PowerPoint. Okay, and then add in PowerPoint in a chat,
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Right. So make it to here drodal nashna rodo hermid boersa. So kind the uptrust the hermid carpet shahanashke. So switchy has some to run at the able to snare which shahanashkis brushi shasnashkis like hulas poplar back in east. Sure the hermid uptruster. Now but a rod omlan no cod de toma and yacht. So that means toma is emerged in yacht na gas can reinforces Swisser mealder and yacht no a gas. Tug der boersa no enforce buachta or enforce the short. So just stick a boersa to how what needs was the coming on. Now Margametin brew le devne to brew fuin rod ni small nan brew or an boer. So the ration current and lack force the Swiss evame or an carp or an omlan. Okay, so make it to and force the co-hardy Swiss Murialder and Nishki Kojima force and or boer samarajation the uptrust. Okay, or rather hornshit buckacta is a buoyancy, the buoyancy force. Okay. So she need get your buoyancy a gushara the hermigid upthruster and shaw. Okay. Now so Louis principle Archimedes. So Archimedes principle. So it is Greek mythologist doing agus it is Shanisha Archimedes principle. So rud vi on the rear principle Archimedes na te rod omna na cod toma in lacht gnevian boersa at a COVID le mehan and lacht G lighty here. Why should you a doya hanik Archimedes in Easter shall we shall see for your bat agus hanik grow level in the skin the hisha shas vat hanik level in the skin got sus agus na jirisha mohas vat hanik level in the skin got shees hanik level in the skin got shees and then Risha she's a stretch can stretch it here scarchy eureka there if I graduation no more now so she is gal we gal could be but she know the hanik nislish again she die for graduation more there hit no point as a carp she hanishki. So merchant is was cost that level in the skin and shaw, right? Now ten upthrust and shock all of it custom lash so the variance line abernest the variant line overflow can I guess can you midget tashkin the how much carp shas and the then to mehan and the shock all of it custom land upthrust at a carp or cut or an the neshke force the neshke cut or an carp. So it is principle to have ways guide the old math by heart so get principle Archimedes. So there's a rod omlan na cod de toma lacht griwin boersa at her covage le mehan and lachte G lighty. So there's a codumlation lachte at a G lighty so displaced liquid. Okay. So it is smitchy as a cruise ship and shaw. Now smitchy is a mehan at the kind in a cruise ship there's in the milky tonne that weight but yet there's a double to snow or iske. So it is an upthrust into more. So I say an boersa or an cod din long at FW iske a honin or snow so she know the hun air snow. Okay. Now it is the kind for boersa the law of flotation. So na mass as a vert because the vert into costly hill, but merchant as the law of flotation and then Rama Fiji experiment bugler. So the law of flotation means the rarely in the snow what the mehan carp at air snow or COVID le mehan and lacte a G lighting she. So the weight of the body is equal to the weight of the liquid it displaces. So ration law of flotation tree in the snow water. No, so there's the rudder snow being an boersa or an cod din rod at a fuin lacht codum le mehan and rod the hen. Okay. So it is kai to Archimedes principle against the law of flotation all them off by heart. So reached la hol back share Archimedes principle and there's a court of carp go homlan no cod da is jahan iske te an boersa codrum le mehan an iske a chorin chama. I guess the law of flotation te an mehan don carp takes now an iske costlet and mehan a carp john shot as now an iske codum le mehan an iske a level in iske hen to us or the displaced water. So these to me able to yeah. So it is kind of rash. We had near just these PowerPoint so we're going to earlier in a kids art that the text. Okay, so just remember back again text and shot. So we're going to earlier in a kids art and shot that the text to demonstrate the principle of Archimedes. So ruddy entry had to be into lat Newton balance. So me Newton, I guess those two mehan or the weight of the done carpet that the goal har shasaniski. Or reached current in carpet shasaniski chen I guess locked in tosh a Newton balance re. So obviously there's some gull at how yaller up thrust force the suez at an eski car and carp. Now reached Nura just shahan overflow canna. Chef mid caihin se má eske. So na chain se má eske ieren no hain te carpa se an eske ieren level a teske. So den eske sin golle vi katje má a sehan bike. Agus tesken sin golle mehan seo golle vi kojmna mehan an carp. Differ optrust golle vi kojmna mehan an etesti in Sinushki. So every heen to find the upthrust. So to demonstrate principle Archimedes, in this experiment you will measure the upthrust on an emerged object and the weight of the liquid it displaces. And the upthrust and the weight will be the same, thus verifying Archimedes' principle. So race to find the upthrust on a spring balance weigh the object that sinks in water. Keep the object on the balance, lower the object into a beaker of water until it is completely submerged, and take the reading on the balance. Subtract the two readings. I guess the difference the reading and jaw. But said that the difference between the two readings is the upthrust and buersa at a carp. Now, to find the weight of the liquid displaced, fill an overflow can with water and allow it to settle. Lower the object slowly into the can. Collect the water displaced in a previously weighted beaker and weigh the beaker and the water. And by subtraction, find the weight of the displaced water. Agus the tara yotin sin goal and buersa agus a mehan den tuske at a G corte golve codum like yelle a cheshbunch or a cruhu chili principle Archimedes. Now is the paper screwed here? Just leave my deck in the Now is the in paper screwed here in paper screwed is a tower to go make able to show a screw sheets. Okay, because carbohydrates are mini trial simply largely Archimedes who okay, so edition kind of experiments I to not really mode but kind of experiments hocus in ease for and to catch online or law of flotation or not uplet well good should be worth 12 marks. So it is the theoretical normal to experiment bug. Okay, now it is we must kind for the law of flotation. I guess it reached to Kishni Bunny here law of rotation. So it reached switching to a Bunny Henna Kate to art and show. Now the truth of the law of flotation can easily be demonstrated in the laboratory as follows. So on a spring balance weigh an object that floats in water. So these do here in the show or spring balance BG to go to snow. So my car can BG to able to snow with an iske. So shouldn't hosh. Fill an overflow can with water and allow the water to settle. Lower the object very slowly into the can until it floats. Collect the water displaced in the previously weighted beaker. Now weigh the beaker and the displaced water in it. By subtraction, find the weight of the displaced water. So the majadin right kernel la shaw agus the race test kun shin merharu the chili snowart the cruhu. When you make the weight of the object will be equal to the weight of the water displaced, thus verifying the law. Now it is to couple rod and shin at a towerta for the rodi obrian for honey na snawarta. So it is mercury really show Korishagoni cash to sample the catch the law of flotation or principle of Archimedes catch is in everyday applications. So it is to me go give it a heen na hydrometer. Now rather than hydrometer Marialler gluacity, the density. Tá able to snow was the inishke ag bre or gin gluas ag yacht. So for example, tá usage in when you brumaji made fat to the him banyag or immersion. So it follows from the law of rotation that a floating object will sink less in a denser liquid. So it is moten yacht ni stlu, Tashagola snow is fair is based on this fact. So the denser the liquid, the higher the hydrometer floats. So a scale calibrated on it reads the density of the liquid. So it is the scale or a hydrometer and shaw Teafadún scéil an seo ag teisbant gin dluas atá ag leacht atá se istí on. Now, hydrometers are used to find every the percentage of alcohol in beers, wines, and spirits. Alcohol is less dense than water. The density of sulfuric acid in a lead acid battery and hence determine the state of charge of the battery. As you can journal, the percentage of fat in milk and to check the water has not been added to the milk. Okay, so Shinikinal Usaji at la hydrometer, as the reach to Shatar to Gonoman to a relayed Barchaku because he Nation Heart needs a proper scrutiny. Name 2 uses of an hydrometer. So reached can Barcha be acquisition, yet the all off be heart. Now, fasting the kind for brew atmosphere and harder down to Majabal to Shina Usage land Ampshire. Chefitu high pressure and low pressure funny Ampshire Obruma. So reached my packaging PowerPoint. Come share in the pay. Share screen back to share. So on the Adam PowerPoint I can so reached we had to package let's go more PowerPoint. Okay, so just this is text so funny and say I'm also in PowerPoint. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Right. So just remember back addition. So reached Merkin to ensure pressure in gas and atmospheric pressure. The earth is covered with a layer of air called the atmosphere. So as you move further from the surface of the earth, the air becomes less dense. So obviously ni sarge to the goliri ni slew blue at an air iri. And now, although there is no actual upper limit at the atmosphere, most of it lies below 200 kilometers. So the gases of the Earth's atmosphere have weight, and due to this weight, there is pressure, and this is called atmospheric pressure. Now, would any be added mean you do on junior cert? Can do a jiggling brew atmosphere a crew? Then you be will come then you be how do we prove atmospheric pressure or experiment around you for honey junior cert? Can you all yet? I'm sure what I want to. Then you be. Dara, come you got to
barometer or something?
No.
Barometer?
No. Yes, the barometer and that will show atmospheric pressure. But what can you then you be experiment like can of Coke, for example, and how we can prove atmospheric pressure? Well, can give you a good for you all yet? Sally is you on crushing can live a Harvey, no? No. You can't flow. Okay. Right, so just me and Dave. So ruddy to just let atmospheric pressure now we saw Jantica for junior shirt like Tasha Tower to go to able to even come to Honyacher for Honey rudder horns at the collapsing canner. So ruddy is where to let canna. Okay. I guess obviously to Paul Gulliver like boy the canna. So you get even sure I also all him to get just be good him. But operands are really my. Now we're into the lat canna, I guess current to Jorvik Eske. So just lean so like Rainbow Eske bone canna. Just go your so I go to able to I guess cur find haba I guess chase so I guess chaintin Eske is this the canna gujigatashin steam chartamo. Okay, so the hashin steam chartamo the canna test agus a nash go la canna shin lane steam. So that means fushan air ligimasachan. Miago shall line gal eske steam, therefore fushan air ligimasachan. So the can get an ash, I guess a line steam. Now, so can the image rated on steam. So can we fueru. So can you come in and can the interche here national hay into a. So rod dois gaste la shaw fueru na a horishan eske fuer gastas to the appleton. So rod the into and then so Mohammed the upside down is Shahan Ishke Fuyer, Rotigal Harlin and steam sugar lady Fuyer within the split second, Agus Champan back Shahan Ishke. So could you Harlin or Humpan steam back Shahan Ishke, is the canna go le good. Leis an isce ríist, the isce hísa go bon, but the reason is to completely follow. Agus because they completely follow, therefore, níl éire bíon a coinnealt an tíú na mui agus mar jaller atmospheric pressure. Rud a harlahas na crossline canna stammer sin. Agus crossline tíú agus be canna completely cross within a split second to a horisias an isce. So, it reached me back na scala and chigidu agus bet an experiment book sin live, but it reached the dice fossil in the heshbench into la canna, lean la isce, chase as a canna, so that means that the brew and air like a mass of canna. So it's all line steam. Now to get in steam and as you hump back as we want to condense the steam, rash is an isce, so reach hump with bonus canna is a order shahan isce into gaste, fuerin is steam, back isce within a split second. I guess crossline canna immediately marialler atmospheric pressure because it's a vacuum to steed and canna that needs to be filled. There's marialler atmospheric pressure, crossline the canna. Wasn't take again on you? Okay. Faster there's a kind for the atmospheric pressure I guess in Hampshire. Now in Ireland the type of weather we get depends largely on the prevailing atmospheric pressure. Now, it is when the pressure is low, the weather is usually cloudy, wet, and windy. So, costly when atmospheric pressure, well, net one must know only anyway. It's I suppose master my own, but that's for you. So it's usually cloudy, wet, and windy. So when the pressure is high, the weather tends to be dry with clear skies and little wind. So it is to be able to brew ard na brew easel to be able brew marble and Hampshire Mike na. Galway Alk. Agus a réiste can journey na kind of a tomodor, so a diver. So as you dive deeper underwater, the pressure increases. So can you count you? Agus a réiste we show Jantica Funnion Junior shirt. There's the Smuichi has a mat a diver. Sin aber na school diver Steve Fuinaske. So Smuichi has a meet eske to skin a diver. Agus in level and eske. So when you small eske to skin a diver, actually the greater the pressure there. So smuichi in the kestni matzi mijiani la couple of wrong. So race smuichi the diver. So the deeper the diver goes, smuichi your submarine. Nis fuji she's change of wineske. Ni small volume that eske to the hence the greater the pressure. Okay. Now, Mergerian Shaw it increases by about 1 by 10 to the power of 5 Pascal every 10 meters. So a hand J matter into she's made in and brew by 1 by 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Now, the human body is designed to operate at normal atmospheric pressure. So it's a natural imagine normal atmospheric pressure. Now, if divers breathe normal air, so since 79% nitrogen, while diving deeply, the pressure causes too much nitrogen to become dissolved in the blood. Now, if they return to the surface too quickly, so rud the Harland on nitrogen, it'll actually start to boil. Wait into my diver needs raw gas there. The nitrogen is this fallen shan to go harsher the gull. And so when they return to surface too quickly, the nitrogen could form bubbles in their blood and they could experience what the horn shit the bends. So reach you be to dive out, so you hear road to the goal and after they did the bends, you can't just go to the surface as quick as possible. Kaitart needs gradually the chance of horton nitrogen heart to mohas the fall. Okay. Now this is very painful and can easily kill divers. The cure for this is to place deep sea divers in a decompression chamber and allow the pressure to revert back to normal atmospheric pressure into mall. So reason what then you be goes with you dival, a reason is demni into this more atmospheric pressure, but with the use of oxygen tank, obviously the single with line nitrogen to single hull shan the full. Now, so when you blood carries oxygen hard free the carp. Now, because the 79% the nitrogen in the air, the location free the fall, so ni stevni into me to nis marialler pressure. So can you different liquids boil at different pressures. So that's certain nis raw gas the David at nis raw gas the tashin actually nitrogen gill is in the carp which forms bubbles and then he listen to water which is called the bends. Okay. To die into my faster, moving to lat syringe into chew. Okay, so cost that we're into lat syringe at the into chew. So, my hample going to latch syringe machine at the interchoose, obviously the pressure plate and shot. Now, my brewing test is chat and air station shot to could war pressure. But he glats it, when tessa eshkigal is shahanshan, okay, at 100 degrees Celsius. Obviously, tasha gal, so therefore tasha bubble. Okay, liegt auf Puerunshan. Okay, I guess ma increased in test pressure. So that means my brewing test show what increased pressure actually tasha eshki a gal reached at lower temperatures. So even he gets tasha the gal a costla 80 degrees Celsius, mataneshki 80 degrees Celsius, what increased pressure Chafetun eshke a gal a bubble is the ense syringe. Okay, so just ruddy bugger no what is this texture that can at a usaja there's the much kind for the pressure against volume against ruddy machine. Okay. Well keshnik then you beef station and then you lesson. Okay, so reached my image gaji and shan ich had lena alle in the texture. So reached in a crushing can, so reached your biases. So Jason short gases are compressible. So to measure the gas in the brew as you did in your slew. So it easily change the volume of amount of gas by changing its pressure. So we say gases are highly compressible. It can be shown with a bicycle pump. If you block the opening of the front of the pump, a fixed mass of air is trapped in the pump. If you push in the handle, you increase the pressure of the gas in the pump and at the same time decrease its volume. So the greater the pressure, the smaller the volume. Likewise, as you release the handle, the volume increases and the pressure decreases. So it is just rather the retention higlat cause la tub or syringe air lock and then we can compress it. Okay. So the majority go through smaller and smaller but greater pressure. Now, so actually boils law. Okay, so just remember Raskiji in PowerPoint. I guess remember back in Shingaji Boyle's law. Okay, so it is vision Johnson. So just let's just when the move into that pump. Could the vader top I guess it is my brewing test station to air the gas house and the meter brew and air gaffa leading and torch so the volume decreases. I guess in that you actually Boyle's Johnson. So Boyle's law. Okay, so Boyle's law, the mass area gas a chart tarasha. So for a fixed mass of gas at constant temperature, now the chart tower because they're adding the torch, adding the brew atmosphere and so on. So it is to a tower to go to torch go to tarasha. So the mass area gas a chart tarasha to an torch a go there in varta lishim brew. So i.e. the mass area gas to chart tarasha to P inversely proportional down torch. So screamage goni working to say Ramarash Gene Clarence. So to P go there in Varta less torch and shun. So run the Kelvin shun if we double the pressure, we half heenish gonna do we half the volume. If we triple the pressure, we machine see on torch and so on. So an increase in pressure equals a decrease in the volume. Because you inversely proportional. Because you're proportional sign and show. Okay. Now, obviously, now the P quadrum inversely proportional to the 1 over V to the volume, then Caibidil full reach it on inversely proportional summation. So Caibidil just P equals, and we add a constant K to the volume. Okay. So it reached constant K that 1 over V and shun. Okay. So it reached test that the constant K is equal to the pressure multiplied by the volume. Okay. P by hard division of your pressure. So pressure multiplied by the volume. Okay. So for a fixed mass of gas at constant temperature, the PV equal to constant K, where K is a constant. Now, it follows that the graph of P against 1 over V is a straight line through the origin. Okay. Now, it is been formulation of y'all when you kishni or exercise 10.4. Okay, so we use a formula that the constant K is equal to pressure by the volume. Okay, now Funny boils law just rhyme a free chunlif. Boils law Caibidil vialta sinna cruhu. So la sinna cruhu te rod of image the instrument in the lab at image able to the instrument in the lab at image able to usage. Okay, so just never send deep. Okay. So it is sure the hermit boils law apparatus. So it is run much video bug da shaw da apparatus shaw nu must this called charts for heart so cut machine so is which you're able to outcur. Okay. Now another time is kind for boils law. Cheffy doesn't show to scale a goal from 0 to G17 show. So obviously to me go current to all the steam show I guess in an apparatus to come to skull to shall like Jarek, okay. The show go G just foot pump. So the pumping is in the air to the pump out she's air is jahan show. I guess therefore to all the goal of foot shots show. I guess what they're telling that and fixed mass of gas at the steam show. So it's just a gas air at the tube and show. Shouldn't he touch me going to get topped and scale going to touch to get top she's a bella. Because the midget tosh a mage torch air at is the tube and show. Okay. I guess engine shaw doing you to pressure gauge and shaw going against you doing Jane brew at an all a car and mage gas and shun. I guess reached enemy chan chump to tap and shaw so ask them to shaw checking pressure. I guess reached lock me cairn a quick reading. Pressure different from your volume different and then to add the graph a harnage. Okay. So in the higher within your graph it reached because me get a crew goal P a gorer gira la hinish can be according graph al coslation. Okay. So the graph the P net and hinish can be in the linear gira region. Bon funche a crew goal and brew a gorer in varta lash and torch. Now there's a tower to from your ard level. Kite to come your honey. There is a dead going brew agus a torch. Kite is in torch around to the heen. Shall a Harnington graph, otherwise the curve will go good, which makes no sense. So this can you come you go to brew a go there in varta and torch. So therefore kite in torch heen is gonna torch. So kite so usually there's a table that la lua P, la lua V, and then kite heen is gonna be your bruma agus and shin he let the graph a harness. Okay, what's in solid again then, yeah, okay. Right. Now, so to just go to stop out and shin you I guess my open to from your oberballe Chesham and video they've actually deluin or boils law apparatus can lock master your skull. So Chesham and indeed deluin I guess you with Cheshni own the lower experiments deluin or boils law. But from your oberballe from your the kidney Jocklive exercise J punchy keheri in do let the hall. Okay. So raised quite cash the goose edge formula brew so can you come to me can't goose edge formula show PK PV causes my K. So usachin the sample to see your the problem 9 on the sample 1 but the race be hard to me show out in the question. Okay. Will question then you be no questions. Okay, so the nutrition do so for you the kidney exercise 10.4 for you the kidney. I guess right with the lunia and remit free boils law apparatus. Okay, so Sinead and last school question then you be Sinead could you do
So
okay.
Right.
Fine.